Hey, what's going on? Three cheers for Trench. I'm going to show you a way to hold the sticks that will completely eliminate all the problems that you're experiencing right now. Um, so basically, what you're doing now is you're holding the sticks in what we could call an unnatural way. And what I'll be showing you is a natural way, and it will have no possibilities for any kinds of problems at all. And I think it'll have some surprising benefits as well. So I'm just gonna get right into it, and I'll just kind of go from there. So the first thing I have to show you though is something to do with the sticks. It's with the sticks. It's called the optimal balance point. It looks like you're kind of using it, but it's good to be aware of it if you're not. Even if you are using it without knowing about it, it's good to know about it because, well, you'll know once I'm done. Okay, so the optimal balance point is where the stick has the best balance between the butt end of the stick and the tip. So right now I think in your video and in your photo you're holding the stick there. I think your grip point is kind of at the optimal balance point, but I just want to make sure that you are definitely doing it consciously. So what I'm talking about is not holding back here somewhere. It's just generally here to start with. And every stick model has its own precise location of where the optimal balance point is. So let's find that together. We'll start like this. Let's put the flat part of your thumb on the stick and just push it down a little bit and then release it. Just keep doing that as you move. Right? Just like that. You will know it when you pass it. So you're going to go past it, and you'll know it once you do. Maybe not immediately, but the further and further away from the optimal balance point you get, the more and more obvious it will be that you did pass it, just like here. So obviously, I'm not at the optimal balance point anymore because it's just like here, it's kind of useless. I'm almost at the actual balance point of the stick, which is right here. So I can't use that. This is just terrible. I don't want to use this. I'm too far away from the butt end, and now it's too light up here, and it's too heavy back here. So I go back, and when you do this, you're going to go past it again, and you'll know it once you pass it. It's going to suddenly, strangely, it's going to suddenly feel like it's noticeably heavier when you push it down. So what you're basically going to be doing is going to be going back and forth, and you're going to zero in on it. Once you've, excuse me for just a sec, please. Once you perfectly zero in on it, you stop. And you keep the stick on top of your index finger. When you've zeroed in on it, I'm trying to get my finger exactly on the optimal balance point of this stick model so that I can show what you do. On every Vic Firth stick, this just so that you can see exactly where the optimal balance point is, so that you have a visual reference, because you're going to be imagining where it is on your sticks, because you have ProMark sticks, and no other stick manufacturer does the following thing. Vic Firth puts the flag on the exact location of the optimal balance point on every single stick model. No other manufacturer prints something on their sticks to indicate where the optimal balance point is. I imagine it's probably because it's a lot of work to find the precise location on every stick model that the manufacturer makes so that they can put something on the stick to indicate where it is. Vic Firth went ahead and did that. I applaud them for that. I can't imagine how much work that was. Oh, so yeah, that's great. But when you know where it is, you can visualize it. You can kind of see it in your mind exactly where it is, especially if your index finger is underneath it, like this. So what you do when you find it is you put your thumb on the optimal balance point. And you gotta be kind of precise, sort of. So I don't put my thumb on it any different way than that. So the exact center of the flag on a Vic Firth stick is the precise location of the optimal balance point on any Vic Firth stick, and I put my thumb on the optimal balance point like that, not like that, and not like that. So when you find the optimal balance point, imagine exactly where it is, and then just kind of get your thumb right on it, and don't press the thumb into the stick. You'll never ever do that. You won't have to. Um, so it's the flat part of your thumb. Okay. Now, um, from there, I'm going to just get into the grip. So first, just to get started, to get a good start on this so that everything will be easy to learn from here, just make your hand or hands, if you're going to do both hands at the same time, just look identical to this as much as you possibly can. I'm going to show everything that I think you need to see so that you can do that, but I'm going to start here since my hand is already up, palm up rather. Fingertips only of the back 3 fingers, all 3 of them. And at no point, by the way, will you ever put any pressure on the stick physically. The stick should always be free to move. You should never apply pressure to the stick, ever. So that's kind of why drummers will recommend that you relax. But you can be too relaxed, and I'll prove it. So you start looking. So you start by looking like this, and I'm gonna start moving around here as to show other parts. But the back 3 fingers are kind of important, so I'm gonna focus on this for a second. But yeah. Now, from this perspective, it looks like this. The index finger looks like that because it's 100% relaxed, so match that. We need to have the index finger relaxed for what I'm going to be teaching you. It's called the middle finger fulcrum. It's going to make everything better, I guarantee it. From the side, obviously, I didn't need to say it's from the side, did I? Anyway, and you should have a big space in there, okay? Now don't cut the video off and then say, okay, you got it, because there are too many things to know about that if you don't know about them, the grip can just easily fall apart and stop working. And then you'll end up with blisters and other problems. So, and lack of control, being one of them, that's important, but it's just a lot of different things that you have to know that you can't really see here yet. Things you can see, but there are things you can't. So I have to show them. Okay, and I don't feel I have to show this because you're already doing this, but it's important. From this perspective, we can say that the stick is behind the thumb. So I'm going to say that it's important to make sure that you, first of all, get the thumb in its most relaxed position possible. What I mean is, right now the thumb is completely relaxed, and now it's not. So you let it be relaxed. Don't, hold it in some position. Just make the thumb completely limp, and then you match where the thumb is with the stick. And you get, in this perspective, we could say the stick is perfectly centered behind the thumb, and that's what you want. And so here, the stick is free to move, and this gets the best use of the hand. But if you go to hit something, you might find something like that happens. And then every hit after that, you're left with this, maybe, where the side of the thumb is on the stick. This is bad. You don't want this. So, to avoid that, we have to use the back 3 fingers in a special way that I think the best drummers do this. Every drummer who's trying to help you out is probably doing this. Every drummer who's posted a reply for you is probably doing this, but it's something I wasn't aware of until just a couple of months ago, and I've been playing drums since 1993. So yeah, it's been a subconscious, automatic thing. Here it is. Look at that. The stick is still free to move when I do that. So what this is doing, what the back 3 fingers are doing, when they kind of do this thing is they're stabilizing the grip. They're giving us a nice secure place for the stick to be inside of, creating like a tube for the stick, I guess. That's a description I'm borrowing from someone on the sub. It's one of the more regular contributors. I'm not sure if it's Whack-A-Molar or it's pronounced Mobile or Nasty Drummer, the moderator, or oh, I'm forgetting names now. Shoot, I'm sorry, guys, if anyone's watching other than you. But yeah, I mean, one of those more regular contributors said, just yeah, it's like a tube for your stick. I like that because it kind of is. And what they meant was they're probably doing this in their hands, and they probably said, well, it's like a tube, but really, this is relaxed with the back three fingers, and this is not relaxed, but yet, look at that. So, from the stick's perspective, I'm completely relaxed. I'm not putting any pressure points on the stick. I'm not preventing the stick from moving freely. So it's very important because when you go to hit something with the back three fingers doing this thing, it can stay together. I don't have to press the thumb into the stick in the least bit. The thumb is just touching the stick. Everything is touching the stick just gently. Everything is. The thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, pinky. The entire hand is touching the stick gently. So from here, I can get the stick swivel between the thumb and the middle finger, and it's no problem. So yeah, and there are varying degrees of what the fingers do, whether they're like this, or like this, or like this, or like this, or like this. It just depends on how much power I want from the wrist. So, don't need that much power, so I can kind of feel more relaxed by the fingers being like that. The back fingers, middle ring and pinky fingers. And as I get more power from the wrist, I need the help from the back three fingers, especially the pinky, but all three, to help the wrist do what it does. Or, so, okay, the back three fingers not only do this stabilization thing, but they help enable you to get the maximum amount of power that you can get out of your wrist, only limited by the strength of your wrist. So wherever your muscle development is at for your wrist, you can get its maximum potential power with the help of the back three fingers. If you take the pinky off, you have less power available to you from your wrist. Now there's even less power available. And of course, the least amount of power available. I'm going to try to demonstrate that, but you can really only see it and hear it when I get to this part. So I'll just try to explain it. So here, I got all three fingers available to me, and I got this secure thing going here, and I'm trying to only use my wrist. The rest of my arm is just, so I'm not using the molar technique to help, right? So I'm just doing that. And because all three fingers are on there, I'm getting the maximum possible power from my wrist. If I take the pinky off, I can still make it look and sound like I have all that power available to me, but it's going to require more effort from me so I can feel the difference. Not a big difference, but it's enough that I can feel it. Oh. And I lost a little bit of control as well. Now, it's even worse. I really need the strength of the middle finger. I'm desperately relying on that, so that the stick can still move freely for me without me squeezing the stick, you know? And then here, only between the index and thumb, where now I am forcing myself to involve the index finger, it's I can't get the same volume level. I can get close, but so yeah, you can see. Um, so yeah, never underestimate the importance of the back three fingers, especially the pinky. Never take the pinky off. If you do, I'll come find you. I'm sorry, couldn't resist. All right, so yeah, and the same thing happens when you're using the wrist this way. You see how I naturally needed the fingers to go from like that to, but even there, the stick is still able to move freely, and I'm not at the optimal balance point. There we go. I said balance point, but it became a lisp for some reason. Anyway, sorry. So, but the fingers are still helping, even when I'm just using a small amount of power, or almost none. They're still in that position. So they're not loose, they're not hanging, they're not relaxed, they're like that. And then as I hit harder, it's like that. Check out videos of Tony Williams. You'll see when he's playing with his hands turned so that the thumbs are on top, he's got his back fingers like this, and sometimes you'll see even like it's sometimes almost only the ring and pinky fingers, where the middle finger starts to relax a little bit. So that he can make powerful wrist strokes in this position when he wants to. But just be cautious of using the wrist like this. If you only play this way, then you can hurt the wrist and maybe end up in the hospital for getting the wrist repaired. Some drummers have gone to the hospital from only playing this way. So it's much safer to do this. Plus you can get more power this way. This is a much more powerful position for the wrist than this position. Well, you can hear it too. Kind of. So, yeah. One sec, please. I just realized I need to turn on Do Not Disturb. Perfect. Okay, so now, and that threw me off. Oh well. So the back three fingers are extremely important. I feel lucky. A couple of months ago, someone asked me after one of my lessons, you know, they watched my video that I made for them and asked me how the heck I was able to do this without this happening. They said it looks so sturdy and so stable. I'm like, well, I don't know. So I spent a long time after that going, well, what am I doing? How is that happening? And finally I thought, okay, well, and then I realized my fingers were doing that. So I don't know. I guess I could be the only one teaching this. So yeah, it's very, very important that the fingers do that. And then you're only limited by what your wrist can do. And when you have the stick in the hand, how much more work it is for the wrist compared to no stick in the hand is determined by how you hold the stick. And with the middle finger fulcrum, you're going to add a minimal amount of effort to the wrist compared to holding between the index and thumb. or well, yeah, that's pretty much the other option. So, unless you end up with this grip, which is a big thing to avoid, it's bad, just bad. But this is also adding a lot of work to the wrist because you're with the middle finger fulcrum, the stick does a lot of work for you, and so you don't have to do very much to get. You have to do nearly as much to get the stick to do what you want it to do, and you also don't have to lift the stick in between every stroke. But with the thumb and the index finger being the grip point, you have to lift the stick in between every stroke. So every millimeter movement you want the stick to make is up to you. So it's a lot more work. So that's a ton of work compared to the middle finger fulcrum. And so is this. So if you end up with this, stop and fix it, because this is a lot of work too. And plus, it's a blister grip pretty much. You're going to get blisters on the index finger and other places inside the hand. Same for the grip you're using there, I think. But and what I mean by there is in your photo and in your video. But with this grip, it's a similar amount of it's a similar amount of work compared to holding between the index and thumb. But the stick has more freedom to move, which is good, but it's still bad because of the blisters, and also you can't use your thumb here. You can't use your entire hand. You're limited as far as what you can do with this grip. So if it happens to you, then stop right away. Don't let this happen. And don't keep doing what you're doing too, because you're going to end up with an injury as well. So, and also you're just limited as far as what you can do, because oh, by the way, you're also not getting the advantage of the back fingers, especially the back two. And this not only weakens the wrist, but it puts stress on the elbow. So you could end up with a permanent elbow injury. I learned that one the hard way. I don't want you to learn that the hard way. It really effing sucks. I don't feel the injury while I'm playing. No, I feel it sometimes if I have a keyboard tray. You can kind of see it there. I'm not going to show much more than that because, we all have things we don't want people to see, right? But, I like to I usually will just push the keyboard tray away from me and then roll back in my chair a little bit and stand up. So, sometimes when I do that, I will use my left hand more than my right, even if both are pushing at the same time. Well, every once in a while, if I do that, I don't know if it depends on how well hydrated I am or how well I have slept, but on some days, I can feel some pain in my elbow when I have resistance at a specific angle, such as like if I just want to lean against a wall and support myself with my left arm. I was going to say hand, but then I changed to arm, so it became harm. But I'll sometimes feel pain that way too. It just sucks. It really does. But when the pain was at its worst, when the injury was at its worst, I could barely even put on I could barely like remove a shirt without pain. It freaking just so yeah, just don't be forced. Well, you are sort of being forced into working in your technique, but don't be forced at the same reasons. I mean that I don't want you to end up with a permanent injury. So that's why I'm working so hard here to make sure that you get this down to the point where there's no possibility of this grip falling apart on you, so that you get the best possible results with this. It's just that important. It's not that this is like the correct way to hold the sticks. Don't see it that way. This is just the most natural way. It's probably okay to see it as being the best way, perhaps. I don't know. I know a lot of people say, well, you have to have correct technique. Well, what's that? Is this correct technique? Sure, why not? I guess. But your technique is correct for what you're doing because you're able to move the sticks, you're able to hit the pad, right? Correct? What's that mean? So, what I like to say is like this is the safest way. This is the most natural way for the hand. You're not going to get hurt. You're not going to have blisters. You're going to have the best control, the best power, speed, endurance. Yeah, it's going to be beneficial in many different ways outside of just those four things. The four things being speed, power, control, and endurance. So, yeah, off my soapbox now. Sorry about that. It's just very important. So, yeah, and from there, from after all that stuff, I just showed what the basics of this grip approach, which is, again, it's not a grip, because this is a grip, this is not. I'm gripping it, now I'm not. So, yeah, I don't see this as a grip. I see it as a way to hold the stick. So I'm also not even really, I'm kind of holding it, I guess. But the stick, it just does a lot of work for me. And with this, because I have rebound, I can follow it back up, you see? And then keep it going. And because I'm following it back up and then pushing it back down, it kind of feels weightless until I push it down. It's the same as bouncing a basketball. And then with the molar technique, I'm only limited by what, there we go. That's where I was, I think. I'm only limited by what my wrist can do for me. And I feel like I could just do this all day. Even though I probably couldn't go at that speed all day, but maybe here, I probably could. Especially if I don't use my wrist so much. So it's very simple, very easy. It's just a matter of kind of getting used to it, like learning how to do it. That's really all it is. So, yeah. And also, if I put the stick down, you can see if I just hold my hand in a relaxed way, the grip is there. You can see it, more or less. So, it's kind of proof, I guess, that there's nothing special going on with how I'm holding onto the stick. There just happens to be a stick there, and boom, done. But with all these other things that you have to know, I can't just make that the lesson. So yeah, very important things to know and all that. So anyway, now I want to try to move on here to other stuff. So I will just do that. So I want to talk about the importance of keeping the stick and the thumb together, because it's not just beneficial for all this other stuff I was just doing. It's actually kind of critical for being able to just simply switch to, if you want to go to finger control, then you can just do that by turning your hands so that the thumb is on top, like this. The thumb is right on top because I turned my hand. That's it. And now I'm using the fingers like this. Just laughing because I'm using the screen as my eyes. I could have just looked at the stick without using the screen on my phone. Well, that was funny. Anyway, so here's my perspective. And the elbow goes out because it makes it easier to use the fingers compared to like that. And don't be impressed by that speed. You can easily work on it. You can easily work on finger control to get way past where I'm at. I've never really put that much work into finger control at all. So you can easily get 3 or 4 times faster than that if you put the work in, which again I did not. So the only work I've ever done on finger control is what I've done in these videos where I have to demonstrate finger control, and like just certain things like ride patterns, or occasionally inserting fast stuff for single stroke rolls to like occasionally double the speed for a moment. So yeah, and that's it. I don't use finger control for much else. And by the way, since there seems to be, since I feel like I'm kind of bringing up the question of, well, so then what else can you use finger control for, or what else should you use it for? I don't think there's really a should, but um, I've seen before where people will say, well, can I use finger control to play fast, like on the hi hats for an entire song? No, the fingers can only take so much. Don't want to hurt the fingers, right? So I was just clearing a notification that even though I'm in Do Not Disturb, something else came up that got broke through because of my settings. Anyway, so sorry about that distraction. So you can do short bursts of finger control, or whatever, but you don't want to overuse the fingers. Just like anything, you don't want to overuse anything because you can get hurt. But yeah, so there you go. So that's great because the thumb and the stick are together. All I gotta do is turn my hand and I'm ready to go for finger control. And as well as wrist strokes this way. And that's nice because for stuff off to my right hand is more comfortable turned like this. So similarly, for stuff off to my left hand is more comfortable turned so that the thumb is on top. When it's across the body, it's more comfortable like this. So I don't want to play hi-hats like this, I want to play like that. Well, actually, hang on. Yeah, I don't want to play hi-hats like this, I want to play like that. It's more comfortable. Speaking of comfort, I just realized I was doing something I advise against. That. Don't do that. Don't play your hi-hats with your elbows away from your... Don't play with your elbows away from your body. Stay relaxed. Every chance you get, stay relaxed. Don't do this with your arm when you're reaching away from your body a little bit. Don't do that with your upper arm. Just keep it relaxed. So even if I'm reaching really far away, which I hopefully will never have anything that far away in my setup, I have to reach like that. But I'm not doing that. I'm doing that. So basically what you want to do at all times is you keep the, what do you call that? The crease? That spot where when I fold the arm up like that, it's up. It's facing up. It's always facing up. It's not to the side. It's not like that. It's that bend is always facing upward. Even when I turn like that, it's still facing upward for the most part. So yeah. So the upper arm like hangs down and like it's like the elbow is always hanging straight down. It's like your elbow is always pointed down. That's what it's like. And so if you keep that going, everywhere you go in your setup, you're going to be more relaxed than you would be if your elbows were pointed away from you, like that. Even a little bit like that. So, just glad I got that opportunity. I'm glad I did that and went, oh, wait, why am I doing that? No. Good. Glad I covered that. It's very important. So many different things are important. I could go on and on and on and on for hours. Quick example. Another comfort thing. Don't lean forward too much and don't lean backward too much. Find that sweet spot. And you can find it very easily by just doing like this with your feet while you lean forward and lean backward. And you'll find a sweet spot where I don't have to explain it. You'll feel it. Do the same thing, leaning left, leaning right. You'll feel a sweet spot. You just keep centered on your stool, on your seat, So, yeah, all these different little things we have to be aware of, like posture. You don't want to be like stiff all the way up. You don't want to be super slouched. And as I change my posture up and down, look at that. It brings my hand, lots of things change with my posture as I go up and down. The hand comes with it. Unless I uh, move my hand in the opposite direction. But you know, the it's almost like the height of everything in the setup changes with the posture. So if you get like your entire kit set up perfectly, right? All the heights are perfect, all the angles are perfect, and you're just barely missing the hoops when you play, and you got everything just perfect. But the next day, you're finding you're hitting hoops, and it's just not working. You feel like your stool is set too low or something. Well, you might be slouching. Whereas right after setting up and getting everything adjusted, you're probably so energized from all that, you're probably sitting with good posture. It happened to me. So, the next day I went to play my kit, thought it was all perfectly set up, and I'm all like relaxed and slouching, and I'm going, what the heck, man? I'm hitting my hoops, and what's going on? Did my stool sink down? No, I have a spindle, so if I had a hydraulic stool, I would have said, well, what happened? Did it sink overnight? No, it was just because I was slouching. And so many different things we have to be aware of. So it's part of the fun of being a drummer, right? All right. So anyway, I don't think there's much else I can show you regarding the hands. There's always more, but uh, yeah. So I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that's really critical I have to show you before I kind of close this out, or maybe just show some other stuff. Um, yeah, so. Oh, if you ever hear of like German grip, American grip, French grip, they're not different ways of holding the sticks. So here's what I mean. American, elbows relaxed at the side. German. Now I haven't changed my hand at all. That's German. American, French. All I did was turn my hand. Gravity dictates what I need to do with my hand to make the stick go straight up and down. With the fingers or the wrist. The elbow has to be out a bit for German because of the wrist. This is not really safe for the wrist. I can force it, but it makes it easy to be in German. You don't want to be too far out, too far in. It's just somewhere in the middle. You have to find it. And, gravity tells me I have to do this to make the stick go straight up and down. But I don't really use German. Yeah, not really. I might use German a little bit in my left hand when I'm playing the floor toms. I have two. I used to have just one. But anyway, because of where I put them, I got the floor toms set so that they're... this is important kit setup advice. Wow, it's critically important, actually. For the sake of comfort, you want everything as close to you as possible. You want everything as close together as possible. And so that means that everything is just right there, including the floor tom or floor toms. For the longest time, for far too long, I had my floor toms set so that it was as comfortable for my right as possible. But this put the floor toms too far away from my left arm to be comfortable while playing. I had to reach pretty far with the left hand, the left arm, to play my floor toms. But having the floor toms that far away from the right hand, the right arm, so it was like this when playing the floor toms instead of like that. It was like that, but it put everything else to my right kind of far away. Yeah. So when I moved the floor toms closer to prioritize the comfort of my left arm, I was able to bring all that stuff to my right closer to me. And now, everything off to my right is the same distance from me as the stuff to my left. How about that? So now, when I play my setup, it's like, I imagine like Dennis Chambers, like watch Dennis Chambers playing his kit. He's always super, super comfortable looking because he's got everything just right there. Nothing is further away than it needs to be. Nothing's too close either. That's what I did. Once I was able to move everything to my right closer to me due to making the floor toms closer, It was like this major breakthrough. Oh, I gotta I gotta do a video about it. But I don't know how to do that and like explain it the way I see it. I haven't figured it out yet, so it'll probably never happen, but God. Oh boy. Anyway, so yeah. One of the millions of things that we have to be aware of. So yeah, comfort is very important. Not just how you hold the sticks, not just how you play the pedals. Yeah, it's a never ending battle. Just when you think you got your kit set up perfectly, one day you're like, oh, wow. Just like me, looking off to my right and going, holy cow, everything's way over there. Gotta move everything closer. And now when I play my set, it's like this pleasure I always knew was possible. This ease of playing I always knew was possible. So like I said, I always, like, now I feel like what I think Dennis Chambers looks like when he's playing his kit. I feel like I'm that comfortable. Can't play as well as he can, but yeah. At least I feel that comfortable now, finally. So, anyway, I must be pretty much done with the hands because I'm talking about all this other stuff now. So, I'm going to just kind of pass along some things to you that I think are kind of cool to know. This thing, it's a way of doing the buzz roll, first of all. So, when you're holding the stick like this, you are already holding the stick in the way that I'm going to show for doing the buzz roll. All you got to do is take your ring and pinky fingers off the sticks, sorry. And that's it. So I want to prove it, that this works by putting the phone down on my lap, camera up, so that I don't block the microphone with putting the phone face down, or camera down. And I'm going to get my other stick in here and let you hear me for a couple of seconds, just kind of buzzing the sticks as smoothly as possible, at least on this practice pad. Fortunately, it's a very bouncy pad, so it's kind of like a snare drum, sort of. Anyway, so I'm going to hold the sticks like I just got done saying, ring and pinky fingers off both sticks, and I'll just kind of... I hope you can hear that. It gets quiet sometimes when I change the dynamic. But the way it feels is the main benefit. It's much easier to get the buzz roll to happen. Oops, I'm trying to like demonstrate as well, like this control of, you can also hear it, I'm letting you hear it on purpose, by not being so concentrating, by not concentrating so much on the evenness. We're trying to do triplets and, you know, just various things that it's a little bit more difficult to do with other ways of holding the sticks for doing the buzz roll, where it's a little bit more tight and tense, and, you know, this is so relaxed feeling. It's so much easier. So it's more controlled. It's much easier. What else can I say? So there we go. Sorry, I was trying to put the thing away that I put the phone on top of. Okay, so the thing I was using is this thing. It goes on here, and it got less rebound, but the other side is very, very grippy. So it's great. I put the phone down on that and it won't slide. It's perfect. Took me forever to figure that one out. Go back and look at all my videos, and there are times where I'm talking about things that I should have had both sticks in my hands to demonstrate, but I never thought, well, how can I do this when I got one hand holding the phone and the other hand holding the stick? Well, there we go. Now I got to figure it out. But anyway, so the other ways of doing the buzz roll, I used to do it like this. You can see it's kind of tight. I can still get it to sound good. Now, I won't do that again. So I'll just So compared to this, I mean, you probably can't tell. Well, yeah, you can. So I'm using this now. But I can concentrate and try to really get it to... But the difference in the feeling, wow, that's all I can say. Wow, it's a huge difference in the way it feels. It's far better feeling when doing the buzzer roll this way. And it's important, I've found that it's important to keep the ring and pinky fingers up like that. I don't know why, but for some reason it just feels better. It's not that I can't just let them hang down. I can still execute the buzz a bit, but it's easier to, I don't know, it's easier to do it. I don't know why. Maybe someone who's like an expert on the way the body works would be able to explain it, but all I care about is how to make things happen, and that's it, as long as it works. Okay, so trying to think of what else I can kind of throw in here before moving on to these other things that are in my head to kind of close the video out with. Yeah, I think I got it all covered. I'm just looking at how long the video is, the current length of the video. Normally, by this point, you know, where I'm just talking about all this extra stuff, it's usually over an hour long, so I must have left something big out and forgot. I'm feeling kind of uneasy about that. But, you know, whatever. The main thing I got in there, I got the main thing in there that I needed to get in there, but just how to hold the sticks so that you can, you know, avoid problems with the hands, pain, and all that stuff. I may have left out covering in detail the molar technique. God, I may have left out covering the molar technique in detail. Hey, there we go. I said it. So anyway, yeah. So yeah, we got all that stuff in. Now I think I'm good to go for the remainder of these little things like exercise ideas. So first of all, hold the stick like this and exercise this way. This will help the middle finger fulcrum tremendously. So, you know, just... Oh, I need both sticks again. You don't need to see this in order to understand what I'm trying to teach as far as these exercise ideas while holding both sticks like this. So just remember, everything you hear is exercise ideas with this. And it's just for a few seconds here. So, okay. Sorry, I know stuff got right in front of the camera there. Okay, so you can do whatever you want, whatever comes to your mind, but also you can work on, I mean, what I mean by that, whatever comes to your mind, is like linear stuff, maybe. Like, it's all wrist. Left hand, right hand, triplets, sticks banging together. Dave Weckl likes to, he has a solution for that, where sticks bang together sometimes. He says, try to think of it like you have like a big barrel in between your hands, or in between your arms, and you can't get any closer. That idea helps keep your sticks apart just enough so that you don't accidentally hit them together. But I don't like that, because then it's something I have to think about. But I know if you do it enough times, if you think about that enough times every day, pretty soon you get to a point where you're automatically keeping the sticks apart far enough so that they don't hit. So anyway, so yeah, just various ideas with the grip with the ring and pinky fingers off the sticks, including unisons. don't have perfect unisons right now because my left hand is cold, stiff, and I haven't been doing anything with my left hand with the stick in it for a while now. It's been holding the phone. So yeah. But whatever comes to your mind, or you can be boring if you want. Instead of being fun and creative with exercises, you can just like, it's a real yawner, but one of the cool benefits of doing this, though, is this, meaning just exercising with the ring and pinky fingers off the sticks. It kind of forces you to, it makes you more aware of just how matched your matched grip is, especially unisons. In order to have perfect unisons, of course, both hands have to be holding the sticks precisely the same way. And both hands have to be equally warmed up as well. So, but and then it might sound like it's extremely fast at times, but really all you need to be able to do in both hands is like and it's pretty easy to do that when you got the middle finger fulcrum going. So there we go. Putting the stuff back where it was. So, right? And then good grief. Oh man. All right. So, yeah, all those exercise ideas can apply to the normal grip, this grip, and without sticks. If you want to just do things anywhere you're sitting, hands on your legs, same ideas. Unisons, linear stuff, right, left, hand-to-hand triplets like I was doing. Sorry, that was bad. I apologize. But anyway, so, and there's just unlimited patterns, whatever you can come up with. I'm sure someone else has already written it down somewhere, but you don't have to try to do what other people have written, just anything you can do is going to exercise your muscles. So, but yeah, if you want to like get specific, of course, do the rudiments. And speaking of rudiments, if you want to master like paradiddles and anything that has a double in it, like a right or a left, you will have to master the double stroke roll. Shoot. See, now I just made myself think I need to show you the double stroke roll exercise that I recommend so that you have the ability to do the work to take your doubles up to the highest possible level. That's going to consume at least 20 minutes extra. Of course, by the time you watch this, you will know whether I've already attempted to do that. I'm trying to decide if it's worth it. It is worth it. Damn. See, I gotta be careful what I say. Then I'm like, oh shoot, I'm stuck. Because now you're probably gonna go, well, don't leave me hanging. Show me. Oh yeah, I know. I'm excited too, because everything I can show you is gonna make your hands even better. So yeah, and I'll just go ahead and do that. So the exercise I recommend for doubles is where you accent the second stroke very powerfully, and you plan for several weeks of doing this to strengthen the muscles. Basically, it's just this. Not that. Kind of like finger control. So you turn both hands so that the thumbs are on top. Never attempt to do doubles this way. Do it like this. Too often, I see people trying to do doubles like this. Somehow, in various ways of holding the sticks, but where they got it's kind of palm down, and they're trying to get the doubles to kind of like pinch out or something. But it's much easier to get doubles like this, just the same as it's easier to do finger control this way. So I want to show something. When I do the second stroke, I'm going to stop and freeze my hand in the grip that it ends up being in, and then I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to just do a few and make sure I get the best form that I can get here. So this is exercise mode only here, so I'm not trying to perform doubles. So still feeling, making sure. Okay, so I'm kind of, I made contact with the tip of the ring finger against the thumb muscle. It just looks like that, but the stick still has freedom to move. I wasn't really at the optimal balance point, so I just adjusted that real quick. But anyway, yeah, so on the second stroke, it's like that. It's got this. So it's like a wrist stroke on the first stroke with a bit of like that with it, and you can on the second one you can see what was going on kind of when it's hard to explain it. On the second stroke though, the back three fingers snap the stick into that position. And the elbow stays out a bit, so the fingers are, you can do it like this, but it's easier this way. So yeah, and you just, like, again, you plan for a long time exercising every day, and also plan for your patience being tested, because for a long time, for a couple of weeks at least, it can feel like you're not making any progress at all. It can look like it too. You'll think, this is a waste of my time, It can get like that. It can be very discouraging because it's muscle development, so it's going to take a while. I hate it because we all wish, it's like, I just wish I could have an overnight change, right? But a point will be reached where, like, maybe you'll decide to, at some point after a couple of days, you'll probably start deciding to, like, watch movies or something while you're doing your exercising. But like, you might reach a point where you're doing this thing without looking at your hands, and so you might look down at some point and you'll see this. Instead of this, it'll be this. And the reason it's turning is your muscles have developed well enough that you can relax more, and now you're getting the benefit of this position. This position is more powerful than this position. So I should have said this at the start of this whole thing, but I should have said the purpose for doing this exercise, the purpose for accenting the second stroke, is to develop the muscles to the point where when you get your doubles up to like a performance speed, you get to a point where your second stroke can naturally be as loud and as powerful as the first one. If you don't exercise this way, you can still get amazingly fast, clean doubles. But if you were to record it and play it back in slow motion, or just record it in slow motion, you will hear something to the effect of instead of that sound, right? That's what you want. You want the evenness. You also want to be able to get the muscles strong enough so that you can accent the second stroke if you want, for like creative purposes, musicality, all that stuff. So in slow motion, it would be, you know, so yeah. In terms of sound, of course, I'm not holding the stick or doing anything like that, uh, in a way that I recommend. Just trying to focus on the sound there. I guess that was obvious, but anyway. So yeah, you. So of course, that lets me tell you that what you're doing here is you're not developing your doubles so that they will always be in difference, and it'll result, the end result will be even sounding doubles. Even though that this exercise accents the second one so strongly, and that's just, again, it's for muscle development. And after a few weeks or more, you will find that you can start to relax more and get. With rebound, it's going to feel like, it can start to feel like it's just one smooth motion where both strokes are happening with just like it's almost like it's difficult. I know that. See, this is a weird thing I want to talk about. I haven't put the work in to do this with my left hand, so sorry. Just gotta be honest. I've got this down because of all the times I've done this in the videos over the past 4 or 5 months that I've been doing for people. It was a natural result of always teaching the double stroke roll exercise that I recommend. And after a while, I realized, okay, well, now I know exactly how it feels to do this. I got the muscle memory. So I thought I can do this on my left hand now. Nope. Not at all. I can kind of do it in my left hand using the muscle memory I have in my head for my right hand, but my muscles in my left hand are nowhere near where they should be, or where they need to be, so that I can execute this with any amount of power at all. It's sloppy. I won't even let you see it. It's terrible. It's pathetic compared to this. But yeah, this now I can prevent that turn, but I have to think about it. Not as natural. If I just relax. So there's a point where the muscles get strong enough that you can just relax, and it's just nothing. But at no point does it ever become a double bounce roll. It's always 2 controlled strokes. But with rebound, the first stroke is almost entirely rebound. The second stroke, though, is definitely a controlled stroke. That's probably kind of why it feels like it's just one motion with rebound. Without rebound, see if I can do this. Some awkward angle position, but awkward angle and position. But let's see here if I can. Okay. It's okay. Not great. Getting a little bit of a teeter-totter. Well, I got enough decent ones in there that I think I proved that without rebound you can still do fairly fast doubles. That's not as fast as some drummers can go without rebound. Good Lord. Oh my God. Some guys can do doubles so fast without rebound that it's like, really? That's just not fair. But without rebound, you have to do all of the work to get the stick into position so that you can execute the second stroke after executing the first one. With rebound, well, so therefore, without rebound, you're limited, and you can only go so fast due to that problem, which is not really a problem, but it's just physics. When you have rebound, though, you can go even faster because the stick bounces into position just like that for the second stroke. So then you can just execute the second stroke. It's almost like you're only doing the second stroke. It's great. It's just this. It's nothing to it. Once you get there with the muscle development, which I have thanks to doing this in all my videos for the past, well, I don't know how long it took to get here to this level. It was maybe a month. But yeah, for a while I was doing videos every day for people. And to be honest, like a couple hundred takes or more per video. So that's a lot of exercising. It's a lot. But most of the takes are like several seconds, maybe a minute or two. Then I was like, okay, new video. Okay, new video. It wasn't like hours, but I mean, it was daily videos, many videos per day, and usually I would put this exercise in there, and so yeah, it's a lot of exercising that I got naturally. Of course, now I have to do my left hand now. Shoot. Oh well. So yeah. Also, I'm not going to say that because it's going to lead to other things that I cannot. It's already an hour and 7 minutes long, and this thing I was about to lead into is so inconsequential. It's just ridiculous. Why would I mention it? If I mentioned it, you'd say, yeah, what the hell? It doesn't matter. Okay, well, good. I think I'm done. I think. But yeah, with doubles. And you have to master it. Once again, you have to master doubles before you work on other rudiments. And yeah, doubles and singles are rudiments. So any rudiment that contains a double, you're going to need your doubles mastered. Otherwise, you're going to be limited to a slower speed for that rudiment, whatever it might be, like a paradiddle. Okay, well, I got to get going. My nose wants some nasal spray. Yeah, I'm one of those people who have to use it every day. So I got to get going before I I'm probably gonna end up finishing this video and then start recording another video before I get my nasal spray in. So yeah, I gotta make sure I remember. Okay. So that's it. I think I'm all done. There. Put the stick down. There. Now I'm done. All right. Well, I guess I'll catch you later sometime. To make sure I covered. Yeah. Just a simple question about your grip, right? Okay. Cool. I'm reviewing your video one more time just to make sure that there was nothing else I could have said to help you transition from that grip to the middle finger fulcrum, but yeah. So, all right then. Well, I'll see you around then. And if you have any questions or anything like that, feel free. I want to do everything I can to help you as much as I can, So, I got nothing but time right now, so yeah. All right then. Cool. Catch you later.